أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي يا أيها الشيخ اخضر لنا بهذا المحضر ولتعطفي من نزعة تأتي لنا بزفر. After extending all gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I bear witness that there is no object worthy of worship apart from Allah. I also bear witness that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam is his prophet, his messenger, his servant, but his beloved one. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala send his salutations, his greetings, his blessings, his favors and mercy unto our noble Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, his household, his companions, and all of us who will follow his path till the day of resurrection. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the ability, the capacity to follow and emulate the sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam till Qiyamah. Ameen Rabbil Alameen. We thank Allah for this day, we thank Allah for this time. Today happens to be Friday, and as the custom demands, we've been tasked to come and continue with this service. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept and be pleased with us. May He give us the power to put whatever we will say and whatever we will hear into practice. Last week, our Sheikh, Junior Professor Makari, explained some stanzas where he ended at وَرْضَ شَيْخَكَ وَلَوْ أَبْكَاكَ لَكِنَّهُ لِلْخَيْرِ قَدْ هَدَاكَ. And inshallah today I will pick it from the next stanza where Maulana Sheikh Al-Hajj Ibrahim is saying in Ruhul Adab, Allah Allah la ilaha illallah, Allah Allah la ilaha illallah, Allah واحرص على الأوقات أي حرص واحذر من ابتلاء بلاء نقص. الله 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 لا إله إلا الله، الله الله لا إله إلا الله. Allah here Maulana is saying, is advising you, my fellow brother in this tariqah, and you, my fellow brother in Islam, وحرص على الأوقات أي حرص, that be grasp, be conscious of your time. أي حرص, with absolute consciousness, with absolute yen. وحذر من ابتلاء بلاء نقص, and be warned against any afflicted tests of decline. That is to say that you shall be tested or afflicted with something which might cause your decline in faith. Maulana Sheikh Al-Hajj Ibrahim is advising you as a Muslim, as a brother, let's be conscious of your time. Everything in this religion revolves around time. So حفظ الأوقات شيء مهم في شرعنا. Consciousness of time is very, very crucial in this religion because everything revolves around time. Let's take the 5 pillars of Islam into consideration. The first one, Shahadatu la ilaha illallah wa Muhammad Rasulullah, aside. Iqamati salah is timing. A.Y.T.A zakah is timing. Sawm Ramadan is timing. Hajj al-Bayt is timing. You cannot just feel like observing your Hajj at any given month or at any given time of your choice. It is only observed in the 12th month, that is Dhul Hijjah. So it's timely bound. وَحْذِرْ عَلَى حِفْظِ الْأَوْقَاتِ. Next one is Sawm Ramadan. Ramadan is observed in the month of Ramadan, the 9th month on the Islamic calendar. You cannot just say, I feel like observing Ramadan in Muharram. Will your Ramadan be accepted? No, because it's timely bound. So وَحْرِصْ عَلَى حِفْظِ الْأَوْقَاتِ. Be conscious of keeping your time. The next one is A.Y.T.A zakah. Zakah, you cannot say that I feel like giving my zakah in this time, at this hour, to these people. Islam has put in place the time to give zakat. And the most important pillar is what? Salat. Of it, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was reported to have said, on the day of Qiyamah, the first thing that you will be judged, that will be held accountable, is your salat. أول ما يحصل به العبد من عمل يوم القيامة الصلاة. This salat, we have Zuhr, We have Asr, we have Maghrib, we have Isha and Subh. Subh is timely bound. Zuhr is timely bound. Asr is timely bound. Maghrib is timely bound. Isha is timely bound. You cannot just say that I'm healthy, I'm strong, so I'm just doing bundle of prayers. You observe Subh, Zuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha at the same time, because you'll be busy in the time you think is the preferred time for the prayers. If you do that, will your salah to be accepted? No. So وَحْرِصْ عَلَى حِفْظِ الْأَوْقَاتِ. And anyone who is conscious of his time, the person is well disciplined. Anyone who is not conscious of his time, the person is not disciplined. And Islam encourages to be disciplined. Islam is a disciplined religion. If you want to follow Islam, and practice it well, you have to be disciplined. And that discipline is hifzul awqat. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us understanding. So, من ضاع وقته وزمانه في غير فائدة فقد خسر جزءا من عمره. That whoever involves or engages himself into something which is not beneficial to his soul, to his body, to his development, the person has totally lost a significant or crucial part of his life, of which that part will never come again, will never repeat itself. If yesterday is gone, it's gone forever. Today, morning is gone, afternoon is gone, evening is gone. We are not in the night. Night will also go. It will go forever. Likewise, tomorrow. So if it goes without, having development, having a significant improvement in your soul, in your development, it is gone and you have lost it forever. So Shaykh is saying, وَحْرِصْ عَلَى حِفْظِ الْأَوْقَاتِ. Everything revolves around time. So that is why Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was telling one of his companions, he was working and he kind of held his shoulders and he said, let me advise you. إذا أمسيت فلا تنتظر الصباح وإذا أصبحت فلا تنتظر المساء وخذ من صحتك لمغضك ومن حياتك لموتك. This important advice that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave to that companion is about timing. It's about being conscious of your timing. He said, when you find yourself in the evening, do not think of finding yourself in the next morning. So whatever you plan to do in that evening, do it without thinking that tomorrow you wake up and find yourself in the next morning. In a sense, you postponed it. And likewise, when you find yourself in the morning, do not postpone. Do not think that evening will come. So what you do in the morning, you push it forward. When it is in the evening time, then you do it. La. وَخُذْ مِنْ صِحَّتِكَ لِمَرَضِكَ. That is to say, make good use of your strength. Make good use of your health. Make good use of your youthful age. لِمَرَضِكَ. To the time that you cannot do anything. The time that you fall sick. The time that you will be old-aged. You can't do anything. You are less strong. You are less energized. So I mean, حياتك لموتك. As far as you are living on the surface of earth, make good use of that time before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls you. There is another hadith where Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was reported to have said, اغتنم خمسا قبل خمس. Make the most of 5 things before 5 things. So take advantage of these 5 things before 5 things take advantage of you. Shababaka qabla haramik. That is your youthful age before old age. There are some things that you cannot do when you grow up. There are some things when you are aged you can never and ever do. A clear example is education, learning. They're saying that طلب العلم من المهد إلى اللحد صح. It's true. It's 100% true. But if you are not able to stand the foundation at your youthful age, when you grow up, you'll find yourself wanting. Learning skills. If at the youthful age you've not acquired any skill, when you become old age, when you become aged, it will be very, very difficult for you to kind of empower yourself to be skilled. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Wasihataka qabla saqamik," and your health before your sickness. When sickness comes, you will be down. You will be less energized. You will be less strong. You cannot do anything. So as far as you are healthy, make good use of that healthy state that you are. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask you on the day of Qiyamah, you were healthy from this time to this time, before sickness set in. What did you use that your healthiness for? Another one, he said, وَغِنَاءَكَ قَبْلَ فَقْرِكَ. That is your wealth before what? Your poverty. Your wealth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives wealth to whomever He wishes, not because of your smartness, not because of your intelligence, not because of your family background, not because of your complexion, not because of your tribe, not because of your nationality, not because of anything, not because Allah feels share of you. No. But Allah gives wealth to whomever He wishes. So when you are wealthy, when you are rich, make sure that you use that richness to develop yourself, to develop your brothers and sisters, so that on the day of Qiyamah or before poverty set in, you will not find yourself wanting. A story that was being told last week or so, that a certain rich man who was very, very dusted during his time, he owns tipper truck, he owns a lot of vehicles, but he couldn't build a single room. Why? Because he said to himself and he said to his family, he had numerous wives and numerous children, but he told them vividly that if I build home or if I even build a single room, when I die, you people will quarrel, you fight over the small maybe story building or the small room that I have built. So I'll not build anything. Lo and behold, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tested him with poverty. He was thinking that because he was very, very smart, he had all these resources generating a lot of funds for him. So he will finance himself, he will fuel himself till he dies. But before he died, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tested him with poverty. He was there, he couldn't even, finance himself. Where he should kind of lay his head became a problem. So make good use of your wealth before poverty, because as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tested you with that wealth, Allah can also test you with poverty. If you are wealthy, that doesn't mean Allah loves you more than the one who is poor. No, it's a blessing that Allah has given you, so that the one who is poor will also kind of had some reflection, will also generate something from your wealthy, so that you will be each other's supports. May Allah give us understanding. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam continued to say, وَفَرَاغِكَ قَبْلَ شُغْلِكَ. and your free time before your busy schedule, before your busy time. When you are less busy, use it for something meaningful, because you might find yourself in a certain situation where you can't do anything. You will try and try, but because of that busy schedule, because of that busy timing, you can't fulfill, or you cannot accomplish that task. The last one, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, وَحَيَاتَكَ قَبْلَ مَوْتِكَ, and your life before your death. So all this revolves around time. Timing. وَحْرِصْ عَلَى حِفْظِ الْأَوْقَاتِ. I introduced the hifz. The one stated in the book was وَحْرِصْ عَلَى الْأَوْقَاتِ أَيَّ حِرْص, that you should be conscious of your timing with absolute consciousness. And here Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in another hadith said, نعمتان مقبوب فيهما كثير من الناس. He said, there are two blessings which many people waste. People do not take these blessings into considerations. People do not take them as even blessings. But until they escape you. The first one is as-siha, good health. And the second one is said al-farag, which is free time. So when you are free, when you are not tight, when you are not busy, know that it is a blessing Allah has given you. Someone is so busy to the extent that the person cannot even have a 3-hour sleep. The person has no time for himself. The person has no time for his family. The person has no time for almost everything. That is how busy someone might be. Look, when we are growing up, we were not as busy as today. We are not even aged. We don't have much responsibilities, but see how busy we are. So here, you think that you kind of regret. I should have accomplished this. I should have done this. But I didn't. I postponed. I was thinking that I will get this free time to attain it. But yes, billah, Allah doesn't feel sure of you. Allah doesn't love you more than someone. So Allah gives you today and He takes it away. He gives to this person, He takes it away. That is the nature of life. And Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, لا تزول قدم عبد يوم القيامة حتى يسأل عن عمره فيما أفناه وعن علمه فيما فعل وعن ماله من أين اكتسبه وفيما أنفقه وعن جسمه فيما أبلاه. So all these hadiths that we are quoting, they are hadith that revolves around time. Keeping time, the blessing that Allah has given you, make sure that you make good use of the blessing. You can account for whatever you have done in that free time or using that blessing. And to go further, when we look in the Noble Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala قسم الله في بعض آياته بأوقات مخصوصة. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swore with some ayats, some verses which shows timing. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't swear with something which is not as important as it could be. So whatever Allah swears with, that thing is very important. Allah says, وَالْعَصْرِ, that is timing. وَالضُّحَى, another time. وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَجَى, another time. وَالْفَجْرِ وَلَيَالٍ عَشْرٍ وَالشَّفْعِ وَالْوَتْرِ وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَسْرِ وَالشَّمْسِ وَضُحَاهَا. All these Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is swearing by day, is swearing by night, to show is important and vital. So a poet once said, Al-waqtu ka-sayf, illam taqta'u yaqta'uk. So this timing that you see as nothing, you are now less busy. وَحَرِصْ عَلَى الْأَوْقَاتِ أَيَّ حِرْصٍ. Now let's move to the next stanza. واحذر 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 من ابتبلى بلاء نقص. Be warned against any afflicted tests of decline. This affliction of tests, the things that we explain in respect of time, there are a lot of blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you. But you might think that you are unique. That is why Allah has given you. Someone might say that, Alhamdulillah, I'm knowledgeable because of the family that I come from. No. There is no family that Allah has tagged them as ignorant. There is no family that Allah has tagged them as knowledgeable family. But they strive and work for it. So if you don't strive and work for it, you will never get. There is no family that Allah has tagged as poor. There is no family that Allah has tagged as rich family. But they work, they fight, then Allah bless them with that wealth or that richness. And if you don't, you will be subjected to poverty. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us understanding. So, someone will be tested with knowledge. Immediately the person started to see himself as knowledgeable person, started to show off, then this will become a test of decline, which will become like a calamity on that person, on that soul. So that's why Sheikh is advising you, be warned. Be warned. You have to note that the blessing that Allah has given you, the blessing might be something in disguise, but you don't know. So if it is knowledge, if it is ilm, be warned, because it might become a decline in your faith. Let's look at this anecdote of Shaitan. Iblis, that was his name. Iblis was so knowledgeable to the extent that he was even teaching the angels, because the angels, they don't have anything except whatever Allah asked them to do. Aside that, they don't have anything. They don't have any knowledge about anything. That's why Quran is saying that their duty is just to follow the commandment of Allah. عليها ملائكة لا يعصون الله ما أمرهم ويفعلون ما يؤمرون. That is their core mandate. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks them, the angels, وإذ قال ربك إني جاعل في الأرض خليفة قالوا أتجعل فيها من يفسد فيها ويسفك الدماء ونحن نسبح بحمدك ونقدس لك قال إني أعلم ما لا تعلم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first asked them to name. They couldn't. قال إني أعلم ما لا تعلم وعلم آدم الأسماء كلها ثم عرضهم على الملائكة فقال أنبئوني بأسماء هؤلاء إن كنتم صادقين قالوا سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا. محل الشاهد. That is the highlighted point that I want. قالوا سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا. They don't have any knowledge. The knowledge that they have is the knowledge that Allah has given them. So they keep the A.Y.T.A, those who are responsible in writing your good and bad. They don't know what will happen to you in the next hour. They don't know. Theirs is to do good and they'll record, to do bad and they'll record. Those in the grave, they don't know. They don't have knowledge about whatever you are doing on the surface of earth. Those that come and take your salats, they don't have knowledge about your deeds. Theirs is to take your salat. Those who are carrying the throne of Allah, they don't have knowledge of what is happening on the surface of earth. They don't have knowledge of what is happening in the grave. Theirs is to carry the throne of Allah. Those who are carrying the book of decree, the Mahfuz, the preserved book, Theirs is to carry the book, to preserve the book. That's all. They don't have any knowledge. So Shaitan was their leader. Shaitan became their leader and he was teaching them. So Shaitan started to see himself, to show off, to kind of, pride was setting in, arrogance was setting in. And this was confirmed when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Nabi Adam. He said, Usjuli Adam, all of them prostrate, because their duty is to follow the commandments of Allah. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked them to prostrate to Nabi Adam, they all prostrate, except what? Iblis. When Allah asked him, he said, Ana khayrun minhu, khalaqtani min nar wa khalaqtahu min tin. Because he had knowledge. So that knowledge was something in disguise for him. It's not a blessing, but a calamity. And that caused his downfall. That is why Shaykh is saying that وَحْذَرْ مِنَ ابْتُبْلَى بَلَاءَ نَقْصٍ. A lot of examples. Someone was tested with wealth. The story of Qarun. Someone was tested with power. Fir'aun and co. But this became a calamity. Someone might be tested with handsomeness, especially in this modern time. So that you are handsome, you are handsome. Handsomeness is a blessing. Sure, it's a blessing. But if you don't take it as blessing and be warned against it, and know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can test you from that angle, it can become what? A calamity. Because everything that we do in the morning, from your activities from the morning to the evening, is full of tests. حسب الناس أن يتركوا أن يقولوا آمنا ولا يفتنون ولقد فتنا الذين من قبلهم فليعلمن الله الذين صدقوا وليعلمن الكاذبين. Sayyidina Umar was reported to have said, he said, when I wake up and I don't feel the test of Allah, vivid tests that Allah has tested me with this, I question my iman. I question my iman, because Allah said, I will test you. And do you think that I will leave you ajar without any tests? So we have different blessings, which might be a blessing or might be a calamity in disguise. And Maulana Sheikh Adab is advising you and I, first, be conscious of your time. And second, be warned against the blessing that Allah has given you, which might be a test for you or against you. Where I said it right, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us a blessing. Where I said it wrong, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us. Wa ila al-qayn akha wallahu ta'ala a'lam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.